in the spiritual community, join me for Achieve TV every Wednesday on your concerns, what's making you feel blocked, career, love, romance, and angel message readings. Just click on the little Achieve Rainbow TV on achieveradio.com homepage and watch your reading live as it happens. The number to call in to the Pink Chakra Psychic Line is 888-235-7374.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, how are you today? And welcome to Achieve Spiritual Holistic Radio. I'm Annie and Anne-Marie, and you're... Who are you?
Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you?
Hi, that's Joseph. That's what I was
I'm
trying
Joseph.
to say. Well, you know, I just wanted to start the show with, as cases of coronavirus continue to grow across the country, Dr. Oz offers some simple tips on today about how you can strengthen your immune system, but he kicks things off by demonstrating the best way to greet people anymore is that handshakes pass the most bacteria, but high fives are only half the bacteria of a handshake, but a fist bump is only 1/10 of the bacteria. So it sounds like the fist bump is now the new, or there's also the shoulder, isn't there? You know,
how
where
about
you
just
kind of...
a polite nod, you know?
Yeah. Hello.
You know, yes, hello. How about just a verbal?
But if you're
and smiles, yes, you know.
But if you're a very, how do you want to say, Italiano type person, just learning to nod is hard, I think. But it's sometimes nice to just have something that is special for people that you are just getting to know. But I remember there for a while, just a shoulder bump or going on the side and giving someone a quick little squeeze as you stand side by side, is also another good way to prevent too much closeness.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. Yeah.
And you know what?
I think what's happened is that we're not as physical maybe as we used to be, maybe on the whole, on the most part, because of all the just the ways it's taken sometimes, and it just people are just I don't want to touch anybody anymore. That's it.
There are people like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I always look for the signs, and if I feel that those signs are there, then I definitely will not. But you know when someone backs away that they are definitely not wanting a hug. And so I would give them one right now.
It's like really get a clue. Try to. Some people just really don't know where they're at sometimes or who they're with, and they don't have the receptors on. Just basic things on just picking up on it. Usually, if you don't think about it, if it's all very fluid and all very organic, you don't notice anything. Anything. It's just all very you're just simply there in the situation, and everyone's very happy, and it's people are just behaving instinctively happy, which is
Right,
nice.
right. And that's basically what we're doing today is organic readings.
Hmm.
So we are not giving you a great big huge hug today, and we're promised
No.
we promise not to invade your space, but we will be giving organic warm readings that allow you to get maybe an in-depth reading with still having some compassion towards not being rudely honest about what we see,
Oh, we're not
right?
rude. Yeah. I don't think we're ever rude. Do you?
No, no, I don't
No.
think we are either, but
No.
it's just sometimes, sometimes it's just people do seem to be afraid to get a reading because they're afraid of what they will hear. And so that's why I say that, because I just want people
Yeah.
to know that that is not what you're going to get. You're not going to get horrible, rude, um, over honest readings, and we
Or
certainly
scolded.
never predict doom and despair, illness. We and you always have free will, and and most of all, we just want you to know that we love you, and you will be treated with respect. So, with that saying, anybody
Absolutely.
that is watching the show, please understand all you have to do is type in your question on the right hand side of the chat box, on the right hand side of the video.
I see.
Or you can go to our studio room and you can also get a reading by calling us at 602 666 6027, and you'll also be able to get a reading that way as well. And you can also inquick us there. So that's what we see. So, have you ever cleaned crystals, Joseph?
Um, no, but I have just let them sit aside for a while. You know what I mean? Like, if I have one around me for a time, or if I'm carrying one with me, I usually like just put it somewhere. I leave it sitting out, like just in its own space with a few other things, like other crystals that are just sitting there. I have a few, um, but not too many. I mean, I have a large one that I like to handle a lot, and that one sometimes I leave it at my bedside on my nightstand, and then after a time, sometimes I just remove it and I put it someplace else, like in a different room, in an office, or just elsewhere for a time, until I don't think about it anymore. And then if I think about it, I think, oh, I think I'll use it again. And so I kind of just go with the flow on it. It's like I think in that process, it does sort of, I suppose it cleanses it in a way that it lets it just kind of like release, you know. Um,
Now, I cannot wear crystals
I don't wear them.
because
I might carry them
I
with me,
I
but I don't.
actually start reverberating.
Yeah.
I start trembling inside my body, and it's
Yeah.
like very uncomfortable because it's almost as if I'm being too receptive.
I
Whereas if I
think.
have it
Yeah.
close,
Yeah. Have it close by. That's how I prefer it. I don't like to carry a whole lot of stuff. And I'd rather, I haven't really tried wearing crystals. I haven't tried to do that. And I don't think I want to, because I don't wear jewelry. I don't wear anything. So I much would rather just have the stuff nearby me.
right, right. Well,
But I'm not
I've
one to wear things. It's something, I just kind of got away from that over time for some reason.
I
Yeah, because
still
I have a whole
love I
bunch of rings and stuff, but I keep
oh
them all. I
oh
love them all, and I have them all in a nice little box.
oh
So yeah, but that's it.
I still love my organic stone jewelry, and I still
Oh
love
yeah,
my beads and things, but I save them for summer because right
Yeah.
now everything's going to be covered up with clothing anyway in the
Well,
winter time.
absolutely. It
So
is a
why even
summertime
bother?
thing. Yeah, and I think I would
Yeah,
be more likely to wear beads if I knew that they were being seen. Right. In the winter, there's no
right.
point. Right.
Yeah. But I have to say that I do wear this. It's my power. It's
Oh, that's
a
beautiful. Yeah.
jasper. And I wear
Just
it because it's from my son. And it just keeps me connected spiritually with him. So I
oh, that's
think if you have someone you love, whether it's seen or not, it seems to be a way to connect spiritually, telepathically, whatever.
it's like a
Um,
charm. Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
One of the things, a few things that I saw on, um, a lot of people say that when there is a full moon, that it's a great time to set your crystals outside. If you feel they're in a safe place where cats are not going to knock them
Oh,
down
that's a
or
good idea.
anything like that. And a
We
full
have one
moon
now.
and a full moon, right, like we have now, is going to cleanse them,
Uh-huh.
recharge them. So, why is cleansing important, you may ask? Well, many people use crystals to soothe their mind, body, and soul, and some believe that crystals act on an energetic level, sending natural vibrations out into the world. For me, when I wear them, they send natural vibrations into my body and I shake.
Uh-huh.
Crystals often travel long distances from source to seller before a purchase is made. Each transition exposes the stone to energies that may be misaligned with your own. So, when used for healing, these stones are said to absorb or redirect the negativity you're working to release. So,
See.
regularly cleansing and recharging your stones or your crystals is the only way to restore your crystals to their natural state. And this act of care can also revigorate your own sense of purpose. So it's a psychological thing too, I think.
Hmm.
When you cleanse your crystals, it psychologically restarts, reboots you. So
Yeah.
some of the things it says, running water. Water is said to neutralize any negative energy stored inside the stone and return it back to the earth. Although natural running water, like a stream, is
Hmm.
best, you can also rinse your stone under a faucet, no more than 1 minute. Especially hard stones such as quartz are best for this. Do not use stones that are brittle or soft, such as selenite, kyanite, and halite or whatever, halite, for using underwater. Salt
Uh-huh.
water. Salt water has been used throughout history to absorb unwanted energy and banish negativity. Some people say that when they're in their house and they're feeling their house is
Hmm.
filled with stale, negative autumn energy, it's a great time to spray salt water into the air to cleanse your air. But you can also do it with your stones. Make sure that your
Certain.
stone is make sure that your stone is completely submerged and
Hmm.
allow it to soak for a few hours to a few days time. Rinse and pat dry when complete. The approximate duration for a stone in salt water is 48 hours. Again, this is for hard stones such as quartz or amethyst.
Yeah, stuff that won't dissolve on you.
Right.
Right.
Brown
Well,
rice.
salt water is used often to I've heard of it being used to dissipate negativity in
Right.
your home. You put
Huh?
some salt in some water and you place it in a corner somewhere of a room. And you look at it the next day and you see like if there's bubbles and stuff. And supposedly, if you see bubbles, that means that you have neutralized the negativity.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just this people have done this. There's one particular thing that you could also leave salt on like your little altar area. if you have any sort of a place where you keep your artifacts that are strictly for contemplation and meditation, regardless of what that might be. You leave salt, a little bit of salt in they say in a little crock, but I would say just in a little glass or something, maybe a shot glass, and you just let it sit there on the table there, and that's in that area just for a week. And when at the end of the week, you get rid of the salt, you pour it out through flowing water, whether it be faucet or an outdoor thing or a stream. And you say, as you do this, that you are getting rid of the negativity and be gone to the disease or whatever that was causing ills in your home, or any problems, or plumbing issues or whatever you're having, or anything that you're trying to get rid of, or just even just icky feelings of like you going through a period where everybody's just on edge.
There's
You're getting rid of it with water, and so that's what it absorbed this negativity is what the point is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Brown
that's used
rice.
often. And brown rice,
Brown
really?
rice. It said this
Oh,
method can also be used to draw out negativity. In a safe
oh,
and contained setting, it's especially beneficial for protective stones such as black tourmaline. To do this, fill a bowl with dry brown rice and bury your stone beneath the grains. Dispose of the rice immediately after the cleansing, as the rice is said to have absorbed the energy you're trying to eradicate. And you do this
oh.
approximately 24 hours. You can use this for any stone.
Hmm.
Natural light. Although ritual cleansing is often centered around certain points in the solar or lunar cycle, you can set your stone out at any time to cleanse and recharge it. Set your stone out before nightfall and plan to bring it in before 11 a.m. This will allow your stone to bathe in the light of both the moon and the sun.
Oh,
Prolonged exposure, though, to direct sunlight may weather the stone's surface, so make sure you return for it in the morning. Afterward, give the stone a quick rinse to remove any dirt or debris and pat dry. And do this for 10 to 12 hours.
and you don't want to cause any fires.
No,
So don't leave
no.
your stone on a fabric or something
Well,
with the sunlight
I
beating down through
I would
it.
be skeptical of doing this outside too, because well, especially if you have it in, I mean, if it's in the sun, yes, but I would
Yeah.
say if you are setting rice outside, I've heard that birds can eat rice and then explode. It explodes in
Yeah,
them
you're not supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to leave it out for them. No. Uh,
because they found that out from weddings, didn't they?
yeah, yeah, because it looks like seed, So the
Yeah.
birds are going to go for it, and then they eat a bunch of it. And unlike seed, though, rice expands, and the poor birds die horrible deaths. And this has
It's
been going on
terrible.
for it took a long time to get that stopped at weddings. It's like because that went on for years. That was such a tradition
Oh
to throw
yeah.
rice at weddings. It's also a
Throw
big
the
break
rice
with
at every
food.
when they come out the
Right.
door. Throw it.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
remember that. Sure. And it just, I'm happy to see it go. I think a lot of people are happy to see it go anyway, because it was an annoyance.
I, I think now they're using balloons or
Or
sparkles or something.
bubbles or
Yeah,
stuff that's not
bubbles.
going to
Yeah.
kill anybody. Right, exactly. Because when you think of what rice does to a creature, what uncooked rice does to any creature that fills up on it, it's a horrible thing. So I'm glad it stopped.
Oh
It's really
wow.
awful. Yeah, but
White
yeah, is that
sage.
some though? Yeah, is that
Sa-
somehow weddings? How a tradition like that could be so destructive, but it takes so long to get it stopped
yeah. Why
or
the birds are
realized.
dropping
Yeah.
from the sky.
Well, it's like they didn't notice. How could they not notice that these, you know, I don't know. It's it's certainly a lot to think about. But yeah, rice.
Sage.
Well, I know people use it to dry out their cell phones. If it gets wet, they put their cell phone
Yeah,
in
I've heard that.
rice. Yeah, and of course
Sage,
you can't.
yeah.
You know.
White sage is a sacred plant with a multitude of healing properties.
Oh
And so
yes,
smudging
famous.
your stone is said to clear inharmonious vibrations and restore
Mm-hmm.
its natural energy. You know, whenever I get an antique, or even if I get something secondhand, I always set it in the garage or outside for 2 hours, and then I sage it so I can get
Oh.
rid of any kind of energy that may be from wherever it was before it comes
Mm-hmm.
into my place.
That
So
used to be the
when
thing I would do when I would move into a new place. When I would move into a new home, I would do sage, before you move
mm,
in.
I still do. In fact, I
Yeah.
have a deal. I have a deal when I give private readings at my studio. People get a cup of white sage, and it's all
Oh,
been blessed by the Dakota Indians. And I got a pound of it
wow.
in the
Yeah.
mail, and you'd be amazed how long it takes for a pound of white sage to leave your to at least in
Mm-hmm.
my studio. So
Wow.
anyway, that's where that's at, and hopefully that will help you guys to, if you have crystals or stones, to possibly think about doing what you can to clean your stuff. If I look at, do we have anybody yet? Not
Well,
yet. Maybe we
Maribel,
have Mabel, or Maribel
Maribel
says she
would
wants
like
a
a reading.
reading. All right, Mary Bell, we'd love to give you a reading. What would you like a reading on? And we do ask anybody that has a reading to please give our video a like. That way, it's kind of like our gift to and your gift. Okay? So that really helps us, Mary Bell, if you uh, give a like to the video, and we'll give you a reading. So, Joseph, are you going to read on Mary Bell?
Well, actually, I am because even though I don't know what's on Maribel's mind. I I am seeing a page of wands in the past, and it's usually the page of wands is usually signifies a young man. Usually, the people cards usually about people, more about them than about situations. And this is one of these people who's a very nice, very enthusiastic, uh, young, very youthful, self-confident. I'd say this
Could
is
he be a
somebody
could he
who,
even be a son? Could it
well,
be a
it's hard to say. This is somebody who is youthful and who was somebody that was very much a part of her life, very outgoing.
mhm.
I don't see him at the present time. I do see that this is somebody from the past or somebody that continues to influence um, uh, her thoughts at times. And so it's since it came up in the past, and it shows up though in the recent past, could indicate that it's something on her mind, even though it happened a long time ago, or it's someone that she hasn't seen in a long time. I do see that maybe that there's some betrayal felt here at the present time over something, because I see the Ten of Cups, and the cups are upside down, so they're not holding any love. That's for sure. I do see
Mm,
that there's some guilt felt, or maybe somebody's guilty of something. I do see that there's oh, it's a painful thing. It could be like a loss of a friendship, even, which could even be worse than breaking up with a lover. Because usually the friendships you have are lengthy. They often last very often lifetimes, and they're usually the people that you are surrounded by throughout your life. Usually, at times, at least for very long periods of time, very long than some romance, really, or maybe even some marriages. There's a certain other kind of closeness, that sometimes it's very it's very hard to lose that. I do see that possibly that there's some restlessness and oh, I don't know, just bad things all around. Just there's some cheating going on, and if it's you, it's got to stop. You know it does. You know it really does have to. But I don't think it is. But because I like to think the best, really. But somebody cheated somewhere, and it's not a good thing, and you know that, whoever it is. And I do see that because of this, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and that too is upside down. So I'm basically, you should be okay, but this one here is a caution against getting involved with the monetary scheme. Stick to
What does that mean?
tried. Well, a get rich quick idea, and somebody has an idea that's never been done before, and it doesn't work. Or something fly by night, or it's something that they don't have the money for, or maybe someone might come to you for something that they want to do that's fly by night. So I would say watch out for that in the near future, because it's tempting, I'd say, but the idea, well, first of all, it might work, but you need a lot of money, and usually the person who's making the money is the person who's selling you on the idea, and that it's not going to do you any good. So I would say stick to tried and true.
What was that?
Take
I
advice
missed that.
only from people. Uh, as for the financial advice and money advice and what you should do with your money, only go with people that can prove their success and they are doing well with it and they have been doing it for a while. Real pros, not somebody who's just trying to take your money. And that's all I see. So just be
And
careful of that.
what did you say about love again, Joseph?
Well, it seems like the love relationship that you had has gone sour for now. And at the present time, I am seeing that it is something that it just is something that it happened. This is something that has happened, and I see it has happened in your relationships, that something has gone sour at the present day, you know. And I don't think you could fix it by getting involved with the scheme. Like maybe somebody might end up disliking you because you don't want to get involved with something. I'd say go with your gut feeling. And as for the broken relationships, well, gee, you have my condolences. I don't know what you can do about it. A
About
lot of
what?
times, I do see this broken relationship in your present. So I'd say sometimes that things do end, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you have to move on from them. Even though it does hurt, it will not always hurt as much as it does now. And maybe you can repair it, but it has to happen organically, and you have to be sincere about it. And it can't be anything half-baked on either end. Okay, what do you
Okay.
think, Anne Marie?
Well, the first thing that I am told is she needs to really be careful about what her body language is saying. Because there is a feeling that even if she does not necessarily feel like she is communicating mixed messages to people, she is, because her body talk is louder than her words at times. And this can go for love, it can go for work. So if you feel like in any way, Mary Bell, that people are distancing from you at work, watch out that your body communication is not claiming more boundaries to leave me alone. If you are in a relationship dynamic, be careful of your body language because it may be communicating something different than what you really want to say. There seems to be a lot of red flags around you. If I look at what comes up in the past, Mary Bell, I have exercise your vibes, which says that the same thing as the body language. Make sure that you exercise your intent. Be authentic to the people you are intrigued or care about. And know that your vibes or your energy through your body language are speaking louder than your words. So exercise how you communicate your vibes. And last of all, it says claim your boundaries. And what does that mean? It means that it's okay to have boundaries. But if your communication through your body language, either through your arms pressed against your body, or through a kind of way that you talk that isn't really authentically saying what you need to say, be careful that you're not claiming so many boundaries that people are afraid to get close to you. I feel that basically what your reading is saying, and if I look at it all in a nutshell, what your reading is saying, Mary Bell, is that you are a person with a huge amount of gratitude for the people that do small things for you. Be courageous. You don't need to be afraid. If people get close to you, they don't have the virus and they don't have an emotional virus. You can be okay with getting close to people as long as you remember that you have to really pay attention to your um, inner gut feelings. Because if you feel like you're truly around somebody who empathically you feel you need to be scared of, well, that's somebody you do need to have boundaries with. But I'm going to say this is a time, Mary Bell, for you to put out your goals and your dreams. And if you want to get close to somebody, just remember, watch your body language. It may be saying something to people that you didn't know it's saying at work and at love. Because guess what? People work the same way they love. People tend to do the same things in relationships they do at work. And that's what I see. Okay, so um, if I
Wow.
look at your,
Who do we see?
let me see, there was some people inside the room, and we have Russell, and it says,
Oh, hi,
I
Russell.
guess I will have to work 80 hours a week for the next 10 to 12 years to make up for what the market has
Ouch.
done to me. And isn't that true? All of us that had 401ks or that has done
Oh,
who had
yeah, I
saved
never
our
had
money
one.
in any way in the
Yeah,
stock market. I worked
yeah,
22 years in a packing house. So
yeah.
as a single mom. So for me, 401k was the only thing I had going for me to make that happen. So watching your 401k fly out the window during this time where the
Right.
virus is starting to make people afraid, it's very sad. But remember, what goes down can go up. And if you've got a broker or you've got somebody handling your finances, Russell, I would say put it in their hands because for the most part, they know what to invest in that's going to help your money go back up. But if you feel like you're losing everything and you have to work 80 hours a week for the next 10 to 12 years to make up for it,
Yeah.
I get it. That's not a
Hmm.
happy feeling.
No, it's awful.
Um,
Well, let's see what's in store for Russell.
yeah.
Let's see what's going on here. Well, I'll see.
And we will get to Sunny after Russell.
I wonder. I wonder if what's going to show up in the past regarding finances. Sometimes that's a good clue. If I get it right, if I get the past right, a lot of times it's like it just resets it. Oh, yeah, I am seeing here. Oh, Eight of Cups. Oh, disappointment. Well, that's putting it mildly, eh? I would say, well, yeah, disappointment, dissatisfaction, and and of course we do see somebody walking away from Eight Cups. So I did see that you had to leave a lot, and you have lost, and you had to go elsewhere for happiness as well. So happiness, this is not about finances. That's really odd, because I do see that you've also had to go away from somebody or some situation that was really very nice and made you feel very secure, very happy, very like you belonged somewhere, or as a very nice relationship maybe. Uh, well, I do see here that there is somebody here that might be helpful, but I do see that you are somebody in your career as a you're represented here as the Knight of Pentacles. So this is either you or someone that is going to be helping you, or somebody that you currently know and that you are currently working with in terms of money, because this is about money. I do see that he is a mature but not too old of a man, like say about under 40 maybe, and is a hardworking grown-up, very successful, very, very patient. This is somebody who might be able to serve as a good guide. I would say be patient. Um, it could be that it just things might seem really bumpy, because this person does seem to be a down-to-earth person. So it would be difficult to believe that they're like all over the road or something. Apparently there's some brilliance here. So that is somebody that you know that's going to be very helpful, that you're currently associated with, and you're probably very much the same way. That's probably how you got together, or why you click at all, or why there's any chemistry, is because you both share these qualities. So I would say what you need to look out for is watch out for the bully. And I see that's the other thing here. This might be somebody who has bully tendencies that aren't apparent yet, that you might kind of sense. So I'm saying that if you're sensing them, and if you have this idea that this person has this mean streak or bully quality about them underneath things, you're probably right. Because what we have here is the Emperor, and he's upside down. And I'd say, I would say this is somebody you just don't want to get involved with, and I would say distance yourself from them, because they're not going to add anything. He's just going to make things more difficult, and even if it seems like it's somebody it's sort of like, maybe it's like you've met somebody who is the flip side of yourself, and that's the destructive part that you don't need to be around. So I'd say distance yourself from that. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. Coming up, I'm seeing 4, so I'd say like maybe 4 days, 4 weeks. This is going to be evident, and it's going to surface around that time. So if you're noticing this now, these qualities, or not qualities, but these traits in this person now, I would say, yeah, they seem like fun now, but yeah, they could be really assholes later on. So that's just one of those things you should think about. Pardon my language, but that's the best way to put it, I think, in this case. It's like, yeah, they're friendly, but yeah, if something goes wrong, that's it, man. That's it. And then it won't go away. Then everything gets wrecked, because it's like destruction. Yeah, they don't just politely go away. They usually break a few things on the way out, and that's what I'm seeing. That's what you gotta watch out for. So it's best to distance yourself. Try to keep it professional and friendly, and it's sticky because sometimes they could sense your distances, you're doing this, and that might make them mad. So you have to be careful with this. I'd say it's best not to let it start. Okay, don't even let it start. Okay, Anne Marie, what do you think of that?
Will you have to work 80 hours a day or a week for the rest of the next 10 years? No. What I do see is that you are the boss. Have you thought about doing something that you could take a course on or that you could excel in, that you have a gift for, that you are avoiding being your own boss during this time that you are waiting for a job? Your reading says also, Russell, that um, this is called fake it till you make it. And I guess what that says to me is like what I've said before. If you're carrying ancient bullying dynamics where you feel like the world is against you, do understand that you have to walk like a king. When you walk into your job interviews, you have to show confidence. You have to show charm. You have to show that you are a wonderful, awesome person. Because if you don't, and you're conveying through your um, that that it'll turn out that you make your wish come true, that you will turn work away instead of bringing it to you. Remember, it's a team effort. And if you are finding that you have, I think you told us last time, was there a dynamic about having a job recruiter, Joseph, last time, or was that something else?
It was about jobs last time. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I Gee, we'll have to look at that last tape and see what it was. I don't
Yeah.
remember. But usually, but I guess we could. This is, I guess, the sequel to that, whatever that might be. As we move along,
Well,
you see the story keeps unfolding as we're moving along.
I would
Yeah,
say, no, you are good. Things are going to shape up here. And my
yeah. Oh, I
feeling
think
is
they
that
are.
you just have to be aware that this is a tough time. But I have a feeling things are going to shape up. And I just truly feel that this is not going to be doom and despair for you. I think that one day you're going to actually be
Yeah.
jumping for joy and you're going to be
Mhm.
jubilant because you feel that um, you're excited. You've gotten a job.
Right.
Mr. Rose would like a reading. He says, yes, would like
Uh,
to share your love. Oh, God. Okay.
uh, huh.
All right. Well,
Oh boy.
so
Well,
anyway,
I'd say there's other places for that, but not here. So,
um, so if you would like a reading, Mr. Rose, please, I guess Joseph is just going to go for it because I don't think that that's probably something I want to hear. Thank you for that, but
no
uh,
thanks.
go for it.
Well, I'm just going to pull one card on his behalf.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course, it would be the devil, and it's upside down. It's the
What
lovers.
upside
It's
down devil
upside down.
means?
Well, you know what it is. You see, well, I don't know. Um,
Here's what I have
this
on
is
it.
somebody who just really doesn't really doesn't really isn't good at making decisions. Mr. Rose. I just see that maybe you're a very undecisive person, and you're always
Most of,
kind of like looking for instant gratification. You want everything right now, and then this is sort of aggressive, manipulative sort of quality that you might like to have over people, perhaps. So I just see that you have to watch out for money troubles. And I'd have to say that you, oh, if you're in a relationship, I do see that, if you understand yourself well, and if you learn to understand yourself and who you are, I do see that you could improve upon your personal relationships greatly. And this is possible. And like I always say, change one thing that you do, make change a negative thing into a positive thing. And that is one of the things that we can do.
All right.
So,
Mr.
I
Rose,
do see now
when
that
I
the question has changed to he wants to know if he'll
if
walk
he'll
again
walk again.
because he hurt his knee. So I am seeing that that is a new question. Now that is something that I couldn't answer.
Well,
Um,
all I can do is, interestingly, I have fake it until you make it.
oh well, there
um,
you go.
so I
What
guess I
therapy
would
until you can
say
get it going, huh?
fake it till you make it would indicate do what you can to walk, exercise, do what you can, Mr. Rose, to be able to uh, to be that um, walking, whether that's walking your talk or walking your walk. I would say fake it until you make it. It says it's a team effort, Mr. Rose. And so that means that you need to understand that this is not something you can do by yourself. So I'm hoping that you get therapy, whether that be in whatever way you need therapy. And the last thing is see the solution, which indicates that there is a solution for your walking, Mr. Rose. It's going to take a team effort, Mr. Rose. And it's also going to mean that you fake it until it happens. And so until you actually uh, decide that whether it's stumps and you need to have artificial legs, or whether it's about being able to, well, I'm sure that as your reading says, if you want to walk soon, then you do what you can to work with a therapist or do what you can, as long as you remember, don't be cruising around being the lazy way. You have to it'll take work. So be sure that you do that work, that exercise, fake it until you do it, and then make sure that you consult the right people for therapy. I feel that walking, whether it's going to be walking your talk or walking your walk, you'll find a way as long as you learn to trust that people can help you, Mr. Rose. And that's all I'm seeing. So and I thank you for asking that question. Been there, done that. It will heal, Bill says. So,
Hi, Bill.
thank you, Bill.
Well, what you
I
gonna
don't,
do, right?
yeah,
Um,
tibial plateau broken. Okay, so we
yeah.
have a Chief Radio, Bill, saying yes, he did your reading for you. But we really don't go for that, Mr. Rose. But thank you very much for your contribution, and I will definitely let Bill be the person that gives you your reading on your condition. Thank you, Bill. All right, we have a someone else above you that was, and I don't know who the Itchy Jam is. The Earth Flat. I don't think that that's
Well,
anything.
I would
Getting some
say
very
no.
sarcastic people today. Very sarcastic
No, it's
people.
not. It's
Uh,
not. Um,
Okay, we have Sunny from Tennessee and says, hello, Anne-Marie and Joseph. I would like to ask if Max, my pet dog, is doing well and if he can be part of the family again. So,
is Max
did you hear
still
that?
with us? Could you
Max
repeat
is
that?
doing, I'd like to ask if Max, pet dog, is doing well and if he can be, okay. Are you asking for a crossing over reading, Sunny? Because it sounds like it. I would like to ask if Max, pet dog, is doing well and if he can be a part of the family again. That sounds like a crossing over reading. What do you think?
Well, a part of the family again, as a
I really
ghost
don't understand the question,
or as a
Sonny.
reincarnation. Um, or is it, let's see, is it that the dog has been relocated for some reason or is
He is not.
temporarily elsewhere?
Okay.
Yeah,
So, Sonny, is your dog sick or crossed
I'll pull one card on that.
over?
Well, I do see that there was some emotional distress about not having this dog. And apparently this dog has been either lost or taken away or removed or relocated for some reason. And I do see that this has caused a lot of of um, of emotional problems. We have the Ten of Swords, like knives in the heart. It's an emotional thing. But I do see that. But I think this also is a card telling you that you need to be open to something new. That perhaps this is not something that you need to be focused on, and that actually it is perhaps time that you moved on to another, perhaps another dog or another thing that requires attention and also gives you happiness in your life. It could be that you are hanging on to something that is not going to make you happy. So I don't know if that's about the dog, but that's what we were thinking about when we pulled this. So I'm seeing that that is the stagnation, is that you're not moving forward on this emotional part. But I do see that this is a card that also has a little note attached to it that I've always liked, and it says that the answer to your question is inside of you. So it's something that you already know, really, really. When you think about it very hard, you realize that you do really realize that maybe that you do know the answer. You're just hoping to hear a different one, you know. Perhaps. And that is something that happens to all of us. So I do see that this is a card that is also telling you that you perhaps need to go on to stretch your imagination and to get involved with something new. And so that's also a card of encouragement. So that's something to think about. Anne Marie, what do you think about the dog?
Well, when I look at Max, I get awareness upside down, which says to me that um, Max is either not aware in a and has moved on in a different dynamic through his health or through living with other people. I don't know, but it shows unaware. So my sense is that Max has moved on from his um, it shows me that somebody did not walk their talk and it's upside down, which could indicate a couple of things. Either there's a feeling that Max left because his body did not work for him, or there is a sense that Max had to leave your family because the conditions in your family were not congruent to having Max in a healthy and happy way. It shows again that Max is not receptive, and here's receptive, and it's upside down, which indicates that Max is not able to be with you because he is not receptive in a conscious way about you in this earth level, and he's not aware that he can even do so. So your reading in agreement is to do what Joseph says. We have to go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you very much. And bye-bye.
Thank you.
Psychic radio,
Bye-bye.
holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. Welcome to Achieve Holistic, Spiritual, and Self-Improvement Psychic Radio. Here's a tip. Pull back your shoulders, lift up your rib cage, and tuck in your butt. Aligning your chakras will help you to absorb a more positive state of mind, be able to show a more confident nature, which brings back smiles and more opportunities in a positive way in your life. Nicknamed the Velvet Hammer for my direct honesty with soft wordage and a reader